Morning all, hope you're all well. This is the Leica QT reporter, and this morning I've got an hour walk ahead of me, and I just thought I'd throw the camera on, get the Leica out and just see what we can find. Just capturing everyday normal life in London. And a lot of these shots are going to be very simplistic and very easy, really, because I think a lot of the time we overcomplicate. Well, actually, I don't say we, I'll say myself. Sometimes myself, I overcomplicate things. I overthink things and overanalyze, and a lot of the time it's just not necessary, especially when it comes to photography. It's good to sometimes kind of have like a hard reset where you just go out and you just try to capture really simplistic photos. Now, there's a few reasons why this style of photography is important. One is it gives you a little bit of a reset. It helps you reanalyze how you approach things. Now, a lot of people might look at the photos that in this video, some of them might be great, but typically they're not going to be great, and that's okay. And I think the reason doing things like this, where you go out, you do a walk, is that you're recalibrating the way that you view things, you're recalibrating the way that you're approaching your photography. And amongst those okay or good photos will be the occasional great photo. And that is just how photography works. It's a numbers game. It's show up, do your thing, and eventually something, a frame, composition, moment will come to you. And that's the art of photography. This is quite nice, this guy, silhouette of the guy in there. Now obviously with the wide angle of the Leica, it does mean you have to get up close and personal. I've started this walk down in the Chelsea, Kensington area, and I'm slowly walking towards Mayfair, Oxford Street. I've got somewhere I need to be in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so that's the kind of purpose, is just out for a stroll with my camera. And I thought I'd bring you guys along as well. What have we got here? What's this hiding in here? No, what have we done? It's a snow. Oh my goodness. I mean, look, you guys know I've got a Tesla, right? And I use it for practicality reasons. It makes sense. But that, I don't know, looks horrendous to me. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. I think that looks terrible, personally. No. That is just a hard no. Looks weird. Sorry to the owner, but you tried, I guess. Now, where was I? Yeah, so hard resetting your thought process. Now, the reason that's important is because I had a question the other day put to me. How do you get out of a creative block? How do you navigate that and get past it? Well, one thing I do is this. I go out and I know what I could do. Fundamentally, I know that I could take photos. I know that I can do the settings, frame up shots, and get a good composition most of the time. So when I'm in a creative block, there's two things you can do. One, go and do something like this, where you go out and you almost force yourself into doing what you know you're good at doing, and the rest will come to you. You'll start to see things differently and just try to look outside the box. And I know that people say this all the time, like, think outside the box, do different things. And it is a very much cliche thing to say, But what I mean by that is, when you're in a situation or a location, you're taking a photo or a composition or whatever, have a look around and see what else you can get in the same way, but slightly different. Someone's just abandoned their hot drink there, random. And there's ways and means of doing that. See, that is an exact point of how this type of behaviour, going out and noticing things, will get you somewhere, because you'll start thinking slightly differently about your approach and what you're doing. I wouldn't normally notice a hot cup of coffee on the side, but because I'm out walking around with my camera, I'm thinking, ooh, is that something I could take a photo of? And yes, I could have. Maybe I should have. And then you start down the process of, how could I have made it look interesting? I appreciate that this is just some guy walking through the streets of London with a camera in his hand, who at the moment hasn't taken a photo. That's the point. I will, and it will look good. But this is the process that's important. The time before you take a photo, where you're learning and allowing your mind to think creatively and think differently about frames and compositions. Is there a specific colour? Like, this is really nice, and I think this might be my first photo. I've never seen this muse before. So in London we call these things muses. It's a dead end. It's where there's a bunch of houses all in together with a little road. Normally, typically, the road goes all the way through, and I'll show you my example over there in a minute. Here's another one. But I think this is actually a very nice, simple frame. So in this situation, the standard typical photo would be something like this, where you'd face the subject or whatever you're shooting. You'll take your photo, and for example, this is actually quite nice because you have these really quite bold colours in front of us. You've got white, really striking white with the blues, the reds of the flowers, the greens, and in the background you have the kind of like the browny yellow brickwork, and that's quite a nice contrast. So the photo I just took is on the screen. How can I make that different? How can I look around me? So can I put something in the foreground? Can I use the steps? Is there a way of utilising these steps to get maybe like a lead up to that house? So you can see the difference in the first shot and the second shot. So one has something different in the foreground, the other one is just a photo of some houses in a street. Could I use the road leading up to it? And sometimes it might not be the frame that you're after. It might not work. But this would be an excellent location for a potential future shoot. For those that have followed me for a while, you know that I do car photography. So I know that a beautiful Bentley GT would look incredible sitting here and then getting a photo from across the street with a bit more of an angle down onto it. So there we go. I've got a photo, one for the bank and one for the video. As a memory, I will shoot there maybe one day in the future with a car. So an example of a muse of what I was trying to say with a road all the way through, he hopes, is where that car's just come out of. I believe this one goes all the way through, but this is going off my memory. Yes, it does, and it's also where Morgan is. I believe, is this, yeah, this is the one. So it does actually go all the way through, but it's a tight end at the end. You can't drive all the way through, you can walk all the way through. And this is actually where Morgan, the beautiful British car company, is. I wonder if they've got anything in the showroom. So let's see if he allows me to go in. I'm going to cover opening times. Yeah, they're open. Oh my god. Wow. Look how beautiful these are. Look at this. Unbelievable. These cars are so beautiful. I mean, look at this one down the end. So, prime example, we'll be able to get a shot of this from the outside. Wow, look at the interior. It's like modern, but old. Wow. I mean, it'd be rude not to get a shot. Wow. Let's get a photo of the inside. Maybe one through the middle. Wow, this is so cool. It's crazy, it's like the modernness of it, but with the old feel. Pretty cool. And just for example, this is completely and utterly by chance that I came down this road, and this is why it's important just to go out. Oh, there's red one's cool as well. So look at the interior. I'm whispering because he's on the phone and I don't want to be rude. What a beautiful selection. This is quite a nice shot actually. If we get a shot through the car. Nice. Let's get one from the other side. I think if I get one of the like the badge with the other one in the background. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. Wow. And this is exactly my point. That's exactly what I was talking about. Just go out and shoot and you're gonna find something. I knew that. I've walked past here before, but I've never actually shot them. This is the one where I think I can get a shot. Oh, look at that in there. Look at that. Honestly. Wow. It's just not recording here. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at the situation I'm in. I've just gone out and I wasn't even sure I was going to go out today, and I just picked up my camera and just went out and just, yeah. Guys, I can't express it enough. Just go and do it, you know. I mean, it is slightly a shame with the VW and the reflection. So the moral of the story is don't overcomplicate things. Don't overanalyze. Don't over worry or overthink. Just go out. And if you see something that makes you smile, or see something you're interested in, go take a photo. It doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't matter if it's great. What matters is if you enjoyed taking it. That's photography. And I think that gets lost a lot in this day and age. The space is saturated. The space is so overwhelmingly busy of creators. And that's good. That's a good thing. It means people are doing what they enjoy. But the downside is people then start to compare and overanalyze. And that's where problems start. So don't over-criticize, don't over-analyze, just go out and do your own thing. I know that there's street photographers that follow me that would love this situation. Oh, traffic jam. And for those that do like this type of situation, it's not my style. I'm definitely not at wide because I'm too far away. And I'm sure there's ways that I could have used, for example, the fencing as a frame. See if we can get a quick photo through this. Yeah, that'll do. So I just captured the guy with the wheelbarrows who's walking off. That was nice. That was a good frame. There's lots of reasons why I couldn't have come out today. It's cloudy, it's raining a little bit, it's pretty damn cold, but the flip side to that is there's a lot of reasons to go out, to capture different moments, get some fresh air, get some exercise, see a city from a different perspective, because a city like London, every time you go out, is slightly different. Potentially have new opportunities or meet new people. Might be a nice shot. Now, to strengthen my point about how to get out of a creative rut or creative block, one of the things I do is obviously go out for a walk, but if you noticed where I started this video in a very mundane, boring location, and the reason I did that was that it made me have to look for things. If you go out to shoot in a city or a well-known city or even your local area and you go to the main local attraction, you're going to just take photos in and around of that local attraction. Then what that means is you take those photos, and that dopamine of taking that photos is hit straight away of just getting a generic normal frame, and it doesn't lend itself to thinking about the creative process, and it doesn't help you adapt and overcome those blocks. Whereas when you're in boring locations, you have to search, you have to try and find. Now, there is in no way I'm saying that London in itself is boring, but there are parts of London that help sell London. For example, Tower Bridge, the Shard, the Lloyd's Building, the Gherkin, Bank, Piccadilly, Chinatown. Those are easy locations to start in because you know you're going to get photos. When you go to locations like I just started in Earl's Court, there's nothing wrong with Earl's Court, but it's not as grand and as picturesque or as well known in mind's eye as those other locations that I just spoke about. That's what's important, where you start and where you end up. So I'm going to end up in Regent Street and Oxford Street and in and around Mayfair, that area. But by the time I get there, I've already trained my mind, I've already trained my eyes to look for creative things. So it's about setting yourself up to win from the beginning. There's a bunch of tractors rolling in, which actually looks so cool in London. That's sick, that's cool. There's a bunch of them just going through the centre. I know that sounds really silly because they're just tractors, but you don't see tractors like that in London. So if I wasn't on this specific street at this specific time, I wouldn't have seen it. It's quite a cool frame, the guy on the other side. Oh yes, I got my frame with the guy in there. I can't get far enough back. This is so silly. You have to laugh because people look at you and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? But I know what I'm doing. They don't know. And that's fine. I don't care if they don't know. Because the shot looks sick and that's all that matters. For those that didn't know, I am just talking. Like, hi, this is just me talking. I'm just walking in the street talking. That is what I do. I don't do voiceovers. A lot of people have asked if I do voiceovers, but no, I'm just walking and talking. That's it. It's just you and me, guys. again, another experience, another photo, another moment I wouldn't have captured if I'd stayed at home and I hadn't have picked up the camera and just gone out. Now, everything I did today up until that moment had to happen in the exact sequence for me to be there at that exact time for those horses to be in that situation. The reason I'm saying that is because it's really important to point out the positives of just going for it. Just going for it. As I'm just about to get to where I'm going, it's important to note the point of this video before I sign off. The point of today's video wasn't necessarily about the photography. I mean, of course it had an element to do with it, but it wasn't the whole point. The point was the information in the video, trying to help you guys to understand that even when you're in a bit of a rut or you're not feeling 100% about going out and shooting, just grab a camera and go out, because you will have nice moments and photos will come to you. So go out, create and enjoy. With all that being said, all the photos in today's video are edited from my presets. There's a link below. Create more, stress less, and you get to find out where I was going, which is to grab a coffee. I think you'll agree it's sometimes integral to doing what we do. Oh, thank you. Look at that. Absolutely smooth, creamy goodness. So, with all that being said, create more, stress less. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful Hagen coffee, and I'll see you in the next one. Fuck, that's good.